Hey, everybody. It's Tanya here, and I want to welcome you to the Let's Go Live. Actually, not Let's Go Live, Stream Like a Boss TV show. Look, I'm experimenting tonight a little bit, and the reason that I love to experiment so much is that it gives me the opportunity to be able to share with you some of the mistakes, to share with you some of the wins, to give you some ideas on things that you should try when it comes to live streaming. And tonight we're actually going to be doing something a little different. I already started off a little different for those of you who know the show and have been around for some time. And by the way, because Stream Like a Boss is all about helping women coaches, consultants, and course creators to really embrace your face and stand out and serve more people and sell more of your services. Because we're in that space, I want to make sure that I acknowledge you and that I nurture you just like you nurture me through the comments. So I want to ask you if you are a hashtag OG, if you've been around and you've been watching for some time, or if you're a hashtag newbie. So just type into the comments either way, and I'm looking for your comments. Now, I want to tell you, because I always try to do this at the beginning of each of my streams, I'm going to share with you that tonight I'm actually broadcasting through Restream, but I am for the first time ever using Ecamm Live with Restream. So I don't know that everything is going to come off perfectly because we're experimenting and seeing how things go. So here's what I'm going to do to make sure that I am capturing your comments and that hopefully I am able to see them. I'm going to just ask you to put a hello and let me know where you're from inside of the chat. And then while you're doing that, I'm checking over under chat to make sure that I'm able to literally see you. And if I can't, here's my secondary place to go. I'm going to go into my actual Facebook page and see if I can see folks there, because I know many of you are inside of the Stream Like a Boss community. So that will give me some idea. Awesome, David and Jeanette. Okay, so yay. Let me see if this works. We're going to pop it over there. There's David Kennedy in the house. Yes, and Sade, wonderful to see you. So I can see your comments. And Jeanette, OG, I love that purse and those shoes, girl. Awesome. And from Central Texas, yes, ma'am, Texas in the house. So look, here's what we're doing. We're experimenting, like I said. So you can see that this looks like a little bit of a different kind of set, um, which is a little against the grain of what we're going to talk about tonight, because what I am actually doing in this moment in time, what I'm doing right now for the next couple weeks in the month of March, is I am actually working on a delivery of something called Simply Start Streaming. And the purpose of this series is 4 parts. So last week we started. The purpose of this series is really to help you to remove any type of roadblocks or things that feel like complications. Okay. So just because you see me doing switcheroos with the camera scenes and the music and all these other things, none of it is perfect because I'm still flying by the seat of my pants, but I don't want you to feel like you have to come out the gate doing all of this. That is not the purpose at all. The entire purpose of this whole entire series is really about ensuring that I can help you to simplify how you go live so that you don't miss out on the chance to really reach your audience and to communicate with the people who you're meant to reach with your message. So, I'm going to share with you some simple tips, and there's one thing that popped up. I have to tell y'all, I hadn't really planned for sure that I was going to talk about this little tip, but it's funny how I'm going to say it's funny how God works, because I believe I am someone who is a believer. I'm very faith based, and one of the things that I know is that there are no coincidences in my life. I'll speak to my life. I've never seen a coincidence. There's always a reason behind everything. So when I started out talking about Simply Start Streaming as a series a couple of weeks ago, my thought was I want to make this easy and to give people the foundation of what they need to get started live streaming. And so I set out by creating different topics that I wanted to talk about. And tonight's topic, I knew lesson 2 was going to be on setting the stage, where we're going to talk about gear. And I'm going to show you some of my gear too. I'll show you some of my past gear and some of my current video gear. But what I didn't know, I actually won a lifetime license probably about a month ago to a very interesting piece of software. It's actually an app that's online, and I didn't know anything about this app at all, and hadn't really played around with it until recently. And it happened to come up on my radar about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. And then it was confirmed again that I needed to share this with you because someone earlier today in a training program that I'm a part of shared this exact app. So, when we talk about using what you already have and not going out and spending a ton of money on different types of gear, especially before you even know you're going to be doing live stream consistently, I think this app, I think this software is going to help you. So I am going to showcase that. I cannot wait to share it with you. Okay. But I'm going to do my thing first. Like I said, I want to make sure a couple of things. I can see your comments, so I love that your comments are there. I am also going to ensure that if you have questions, because I am here literally with you live, if you're here on Thursday, March 10th, and it's a little after 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, or 5 p.m. Pacific, I can't miss my girls over in the LA area. I know I have a lot of folks over in California. So, in any of those time zones, if you're here right now, I'm here too. So, I will answer your questions. Just pop them in the chat so I can see. So I know that I have some folks here from Facebook as well as from Twitter. We're also broadcasting into LinkedIn. It's a little bit more difficult for me to see LinkedIn comments unless I pull it up. So let me see if I can do that. Let's see. I'm going to try to pull up LinkedIn because this time I don't want to leave you out, especially if you've got questions about gear. We need to talk about this thing. Now, what I will say is that as usual, I have 3 message points typically. We're going to be on here for about 30 to 40 minutes. Sometimes this runs a little longer, this particular topic, because people just love gear, like you love it. Um, I will try to answer what I can, but I'm going to give you my personal opinion and impression of what to invest in and what you don't necessarily need to invest in starting out, because this is about simplifying things, okay? I am pulling up to make sure that I can see my LinkedIn folks just in case. All right, there we go. Wonderful. Okay, so here's the thing. We're going to start with me sharing some reasons why you need to consider your investment. Like, what are the things that you really need to think about? And I'll give you a couple of different levels as we talk about this. When you're setting the stage, and first of all, let me ask you this. How many of you, and you can put this in the comments, how many of you think that you have to go out right now, you're not ready, that you have to go out and invest, first of all, hundreds of dollars in video gear in order for you to go live? If you think that, I want you to put a 1 in the comments. If you disagree with that and you think, no, I can probably start where I am right now, I want you to put a 2 in the comments. And I'm watching for that, okay? I want to get a feel for where we are right now in the audience. So 1, if you feel like, dang it, I got to open up my pocketbook and head to the store, head to Best Buy, or order on BH Photo Video. And 2, if you feel like I have what I need, I just need to go. Okay, thank you for that too, Sade. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you for that too. I'm looking for some others, 1s and 2s. And here's what I'm going to do is I will share with you that it's probably a 2, even if you put a 1. I see a couple of 1s. Even if you put a 1, your real answer or the actual truth of the matter is that it's probably a number 2. The thing is, if you decide that you want to start live streaming, there are so many benefits to doing streams. And I can tell you just from personal experience that it has really grown my business in ways that I never thought it would. It has given me exposure and visibility in ways that prior to me doing live streams regularly, I was suffering because I was constantly trying to create content, putting social media images and posts out there. Nobody saw that stuff. The social platforms were not sharing it because they already told us that they want more video. They said that. But here we are still trying to say, well, we're just going to do it the way we want to do it. It's sort of like having a teenager who you've told them, look, if you do this, here's going to be a bad consequence. And then they still take that action anyway. Well, I was doing that. I was being hard headed and I was like, no, I'm not going to do video. I'm just going to keep on posting my really fancy graphics and hope and pray that somebody sees them. And nobody was seeing them. Even with my blog, it was suffering. There were so many different reasons why I started doing live, but in the end, once I started simple. Okay. I didn't have a bunch of gear. So I'm sharing with you, even if you put a one, your answer probably is a two, meaning that you probably have what you need right now. And I'm going to share with you this app, the software I was talking about. You're going to be really surprised and amazed at just what you can do with this little thing. Oh, I can't have it in my hand because I've got it posted up because I'm going to show you something in a minute. But the smartphone that you have right now is probably sufficient. So I'm going to give you three things. There's three ideas of essentials, I'll say. When you get started doing live stream, there's three ways that you want to actually invest if you don't have the basics. And you may have the basics just with what I'm going to show you right now. These three things, the three essentials: a camera, microphone, and some type of lighting. Camera, a microphone, and some type of lighting. Now, with your smartphone, your phone probably takes care of the camera and the mic. And you just didn't know all the things that are possible with your camera and your microphone. Now, what I will say, and I'm going to share with you, like I said, a few levels. One of the things that I absolutely love about the camera that I have now is that it has upped the game. I started with I started with just the camera that was inside of my computer, and that was really trash. And most of us have trash webcams that come with our computer. And let me tell you why. It's not because it was a cheapy computer and it was lame. It's not because of those things, although those were reasons too. But it was because the camera would like showcase my nose. Like it was on the bottom. I don't know why they thought that made any sense, the manufacturer of the camera, but the webcam was on the bottom of my nose and looking up like this. So that was the angle that people were getting. But that's where I started. Then I decided, okay, well, I'm going to try just a plug and play. I'm going to find something that's pretty cheap on Amazon and see what happens. And that probably worked for a little while, but I ended up having to trash that particular webcam. I can't even remember what the brand was. Then I went to a Logitech, and I'll show you my fancy dancy Logitech. Actually, I can probably switch cameras right now and show you because I still have it. I've got some junk, and you're going to see it, but that's okay. I'm going to switch to a different scene so you can really see. Okay, so here's my Logitech webcam. Let me change it. Let me change it. Hold on. Oh, I have my screen locked. Let me unlock it so you can see it. Okay. There it is. So see this one? See the quality of it though? How it's really grainy and you can almost, it's like yellow, gray, something. It's not quite where I want it to be. But then look at this one. So there's a difference. Look at the quality. Okay. You can kind of see the difference. So as I upgraded, everything got better. I'm going to get rid of this one now. As I upgraded my camera, that upgraded the game for me when it comes to video, like in a big way. But I did not start there. I didn't start there. And so what I'm suggesting to you is you start where you are. Hey, Dr. Deneen in the house. Hello, gorgeous. It's good to see you. Um, you don't have to start with the lame camera because you have a smartphone. Now, before I get into the little app and the software that I want to show you, let me tell you about the other two things. So the other two things are the microphone, so your sound, and then lighting. Now, sound wise, yes, and Jeanette, I love my Logitech. Like that was and still is one of my favorites. And a lot of people love the Logitech Brio. So a Brio apparently, and I tried it for a short time, it just didn't work out well for me. But you literally plug and play the Brio into your laptop or desktop, and it gives you HD quality. Okay. I ended up going from my Brio, my Logitech Brio, back to the C922 that you just saw me show you. The reason for that is the C922, it worked well as long as I had good lighting. The reason why it looks so as grainy as it did just now is probably because of the way that I have my lighting set up in here. And it's better and more appropriate. The warmer colors that I have right now are more appropriate for the DSLR camera that I'm using today. But again, I didn't start there. It was like a graduation, right? I graduated from one type of cam to the next. I'm going to show you where you can use what you have right now and still have high quality. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to do that in this moment because I think my phone is ready. And then I'm going to go back into the microphone and lighting. And then we're going to do a demo, like a full out demo of the app I want to show you. So this is my cell phone. Check this out. It's clear. It's clean, isn't it? It's not like it is something that I have to, yeah, I mean, right? But I got to show you how it is so clear, why it is working so well. It's not just because I just started, using my iPhone and plugged it in and it looked beautiful. No, there's a couple of things that I did do though that I want to share with you. So I'm going to take that off and we'll come back to it. That is an app called Camo, Camo. I do not have an affiliate link for it, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. Y'all know about me sharing my links. I do love to do that when I love a product. But I do want to talk a little bit more about Camo and how I came to start using this and to recognize it as the gift that it really was. But first, let me dive in a little bit into mics. So microphones, I did not start with this one. This is actually not that expensive. The one I have is a Rode mic. It is a Rode Pod mic. I don't know if you can see it that well. There it is right there. Okay. It's a Rode Pod mic that I use today. And it is what you call an XLR, meaning that it has a certain type of plug. It doesn't just plug like a USB port into your laptop or desktop. It requires that you have another interface. You have to have another piece of equipment that it connects to in order for it to feed into your computer. Okay. So we're not going to start there if we're starting out. I don't want you to do that because then you got to graduate not only the mic, but you also have to buy extra gear to deal with that. Don't want you to do that yet. What I would encourage you to do is to check out, what did I start with? I started with a blue snowball. I should have shown y'all that. I do have it here. It's a blue snowball. It looks like those old school radio mics. It's huge and clunky, but it was my favorite because I felt like I was really doing media because it looked so cool. But it didn't have super great quality. It had sufficient quality. When I was doing blog talk radios and those type of things, it was sufficient. Then I moved to this ATR 2100, which a lot of you still have. An Audio Technica is what this is. And this worked fine as well. It wasn't too bad. And it's a USB mic. So you plug in the bottom and then take the other end and plug that into your port inside of your laptop or desktop. So this was sufficient. You see how tiny it is? It did okay and it still works now. But I graduate it over time. Now, if you're not quite ready to take a really big leap into some of the really super expensive microphones, let me show y'all what else I used that you can use to start out with, especially if you need something that's portable. It's a lavalier mic. Hello there. Yep, I see a couple of folks that are saying hi. I can't see who you are, but there should be a permission link somewhere inside of the video if you're in the group. Okay, so there's lavalier mic. And here's the deal with the lavalier mic. See, it has a little clip-on thing. You can kind of see it right there. Typically, when you have a lavalier mic, you'll be able to plug this, and here's what the little thing looks like, okay? You can plug this into your laptop or your desktop or even your phone, depending on the type of phone you have. So this was old school for me. I didn't have an adapter. You may need an adapter depending on the type of phone you have because it's kind of a pin port, okay? Or pin plug. But it would, and if you don't use one that's wired, there are wireless lavalier mics now, but they're more expensive. So I'm just kind of giving you price range wise. If you're looking for something inexpensive, a lavalier mic you can look up on Amazon, or you can go to my web store, which is streamlikeaboss.shop. Okay, streamlikeaboss.shop. You'll see some examples. What you would typically do is take this and you would just put it somewhere where it can catch your voice very easily. Some people will put it up here in their hair and then have the wire going back like this, and they'll have it under a hat at times. And then some people, like myself, would have this underneath my shirt on one of my undergarments, on my bra, okay? So it would be in there and nobody would know it's there, but it still would be capturing the sound fairly decently. Like this was under 20 bucks and I used this for some time. So I'm trying to give you some options here, okay? When you do end up using a more expensive mic, you have to think about, okay, well, do I want it? What is the reason that I need it right now? Because here's the thing about video. People can put up with a grainy video, but if they can't understand the words you're saying, they'll click off. So, yes, that is too funny. You have 5, Jeanette. I bet you do. Her lavalier mics for different plays. Yes, and for your shows. And if they work and if they do the job and people can understand what you're saying, then that's awesome. So, what I'm trying to say, if you're simply starting out, if you feel like you need to graduate, if you feel like you need to graduate from the mic that's built into your laptop or desktop, one of the simplest ways is going to probably be something like a little lavalier mic or maybe even an Audio Technica. I also had, you'll know what this is. Uh-oh. It's so old and so huge that it's like, this is the Yeti. Now, a lot of people use the Blue Yeti. I swore by this Yeti, I'm not going to lie. I love this thing. It's huge and it's gold and it's pretty, and it was kind of expensive for me at the time that I bought it, and it did the job. But after a while, I could tell that it was not doing the job. It was not consistent, and it also was really bulky and kind of in the way of everything. Like I couldn't move it out of my scene. I know I partially have this in my scene a little bit, but there were just some things that weren't working as well with it, especially with the newer computers. So every time I would upgrade my computer or my laptop, I was having more and more problems and issues with the Yeti. So I ultimately ended up going to this Rode Pod mic. But when you graduate, the more you buy, the more you have to buy. Okay. So because I had to buy this, I also had to buy a Wave XLR in order to be able to connect the mic because of the port. Yes. So you have one that was gifted to you. That's awesome. And lately you've been using your ATR 2100. I'm telling you, sometimes the oldies work. So if I needed to pull out a backup, I would certainly pull this thing right back out if I had to. You don't have to go to thousands and thousands of dollars you can certainly start. And yes, Dr. Deneen, that's exactly what I'm sharing now, is that I would start with something simple. I would start, actually, Wave Elgato has a wave mic that does pretty well. Um, Others love the ATR 2100 series still. I personally now like my Rode Pod mic. That's what I love. Now, I will tell you what the industry gurus say, and I haven't invested in this, and I don't plan to because I'm good right now, but it's called the Shure. David Kennedy knows because David just bought one. Look, I'm messing with you now. David bought one. So I'm curious to see what you think about it. Put that in the comments, David, if you're still here. I want to know how it went for you when you bought that. How easy was it for you to transition into that? The Shure mic, and I'm saying Shure. Let me find the model that is the most current one. I think it's called the SM7B. But if you look up Shure mics, there are quite a few. They're typically around $400, so they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all, but they are solid, they are reliable, and they are very good quality. So if you're doing podcasts, if you're doing videos and podcasting, it sure might be, if that's within your budget, it may be something for you to look into. But again, if you're simply starting to stream right now, I would hold on that and make sure that you're going to be committed to doing these consistent streams. Okay. Yes. Oh, I know. That stinks. Have the regular mic in my bed. Okay. I wonder what brand that is. I'm unable to plug my Yeti into my MacBook Pro. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. So as you graduate, and as these computers, look, Apple just came out with a whole new series of stuff. This Mac Studio, which I, for 5 seconds, got tempted. And then I was like, no, I just bought an iMac. These things are expensive. No. But you know that technology is going to continue to improve. And so the more it improves, the more pricey the newer stuff gets. And then your stuff is obsolete really fast. So that's what I was finding the problem to be with the Yeti is I could not, it just wasn't aligned well with the newer stuff I was buying as I was upgrading my system overall. The Yeti was no longer sufficient for me. But it started off well. Yes, and Jeanette, you've rented the Shure mic? Yeah, yeah, they are great mics. That's what I hear. I'm not going to be tempted because I'm good right now. So let's talk about lighting, and then I want to show you that Camo app because I really want you to see. Yes, girl. Hold up. Let me put this up here so people can see. Nicolette says a new system with all the bells and whistles was $5,800. I'm telling you, if you start going too deep without thinking about your budget, you can go over the top. Now, Nicolette, it makes sense that she's invested in her whole system because she is already a committed video streamer and podcaster. She's somebody who's always out there all the time. But if you are brand new to this and you have not yet made the commitment, you haven't done the things to really set yourself up for success. So you haven't followed tip number one, which I talked about last week, about really getting clear on who your audience is and what your topics are going to be. Let's go backwards a little bit and start there first and then work our way into the equipment. Yes, Dr. D, I know. And you don't look, here's why I'm going to tell you you don't have to do that, but Nicolette was ready. She knew when she was ready, okay? What I want to tell you here in this space right now, our safe space, where we're like, I'm talking to you honestly and being real with you. The thing that you need to do is to look at what you have. You just mentioned you have a lot of microphones in the basement. So, what I want you to do is pull those things out and see what works. Okay? See what works. Use what you have and then continue to graduate as you begin to really get clear about your strategy. And for me, I didn't like go out and buy this stuff all at one time. it was over a period of the last 2 to 3 years that I really started investing in building up my studio and my systems, right? So it wasn't like I just dropped a hot $5,800, right? I wasn't ready for that either, Dr. Deneen. Okay, let's talk about lighting. Okay, now if you're just starting out with lighting and you need tips on lighting, and if anybody has questions, keep asking them. I love the questions coming in so that I can try to answer those for you. Um, the lighting I have right now, I'm so much happier with than when I started. Holy moly. When I first started, yes, I see your note. When I first started, I was trying to do my best with windows in the house, and we just don't have the type of lighting. We have way too many walls and not enough open windows where I wanted to do my lives. So I was relying on, like, you know how you have the ceiling fan light and all of that. I had that going, and I had a little faker shaker light, like my stylist likes to say. I had a little faker shaker light. I had one of these. Y'all know these, right? I don't even know if this comes on anymore. Yeah, it needs to be plugged in and charged up. But these are not bad, right? You can use them on your phone. You just take it and you just clip it onto your phone. They're super cheap. And now people are giving them away as business and corporate gifts, right? Um, but if you're ready, when you're ready to truly start doing video, you need to really look at investing in lighting because that will help to make or break the presence and the environment that you're trying to create for your set. Goodness. Sorry about that, y'all. I need to do a do not disturb. I hope that didn't mess with our microphone too much. Hold on. Okay. We'll have to fix that next time because wow. Hopefully you can still hear me. That was really loud. Okay. Meanwhile, so lighting. Let's talk about that. I shared with you my little startup. Then I'm going to show y'all what I graduated to so you can laugh. This was from Home Depot, y'all. So Home Depot had these nice little handy dandy garage lights, you know, the clip-on lights. Look, because I was just trying to make things work. I had a cardboard box that I would put my laptop on top of to make sure I got the good angle and that it wasn't going up my nose. And I had these. I had a couple of these, one on each side. And I changed the light bulb. Look, it's so old now it's coming apart. Y'all can see that. Stop laughing at me, Nicolette. I did though, but look, let me tell y'all, here's the thing. Nothing should stop you. If you have a vision for something, don't be stopped. Don't be stopped by dreams of, oh, if only I could buy the $5,800 set. Mm-mm. No, if I had done that, I would have been waiting forever. I probably wouldn't even be here in front of you right now doing video because I would have been like, no, I'm not doing that. So I started by improvising. I looked at other people's videos and I saw how theirs looked. And I thought, well, if I can kind of make mine look that way by doing X, like if I can make mine look that way by buying these $5 clip on lights at Home Depot, hey, $10 for two, then I'm going to do that. If I can be okay by buying a less than $20 lavalier mic, then I'm going to start with that. You start where you are, okay? You start where you are and you continue to build and you grow because people need to hear your message and you should not let that be stifled by thinking that you have to go out and invest in all this stuff. But I am kind of showing you some possibilities so that you know what you'll be able to graduate to, okay? Let's go. Lighting. Ring lights are popular. A lot of people buy the big, giant ring lights and the ones that are on tripods. And nowadays, they're a lot less expensive than they used to be. In fact, I have a ring light right now. I don't know. Let me see if I can show you. It's bright, y'all. It's super bright. I'm going to turn that off. Okay. Ooh. Something is going on with my system. I'm not sure why. Let me turn that down some. Let me try to switch to another. Let's see. Hopefully you can still hear me. I feel like I'm echoing right now. Are y'all hearing me echo too? Hmm. Yeah, something weird just happened. You see and hear me. Okay, I'm just going to keep going and we'll make it work. I just need to turn this down slightly. And I probably need to put on some headphones myself. So hold on. Okay, so tip number 555. Everything's not going to be perfect all the time. Just know that. Okay, so here is what is happening. Yeah, it went into a tunnel. It felt like it went into a tunnel, like I could hear myself really, really loud for some reason. Okay, so here's the thing. When it comes to lighting, the reason why I'm not a big fan anymore of ring lights, and I was a big fan of them, but I'm not anymore. Ring lights do a couple of things. One, for the most part, unless you have one that is giving you the ability to be able to change the temperature, then it can be really too bright depending on your background. So, like my background, you can see is really more warm, right? With the browns and all of those things, and grays and the pinks. Um, that ring light, as you noticed, was just way too bright. So, unless you have a temperature control to be able to turn it down effectively, it's not going to look awesome. Okay. It's going to just really be overkill a lot of times for some scenes, especially if you're broadcasting at night and you have more of a subtle visual. Now, there are some people that have, the white walls and they have like a lot of natural light and they're doing it in the middle of the day and that kind of thing. It may work well for you. So you need to test it out. If you already have a ring light, then keep it. Don't hear me saying go return it. But if it's really, really bright, there's a couple of things you can do. So Dr. Deneen, I see your note. One of the things that you can do is check to make sure and see if you have a temperature control. It's usually going to be some type of dial. And if you can turn it down to the lowest level, that's probably going to help. But the other thing is if you've got a ring light that has, I can't think of what they're called, they're filters. Sometimes these ring light kits will come with a filter, either really like yellow amber type of filter, or there may be one that's a white filter. I have found, especially on my brown skin tone, the amber to be much more soft and subtle for my skin. So you're going to want to play around with that to see which one works better for you, depending on your skin tone and all the other things in your environment you're seeing. Okay. The other thing I would mention for ring lights is put it a little bit at a distance, because if you have glasses, that's the other thing that was messing me up. Sometimes I wear my glasses when I stream and I hated seeing the rings. Y'all seen the rings popping up in the glasses? Okay, so that wasn't fun and it didn't give a good look for me either. What I ended up with is, what's up? Robert Kennedy in the house. Robert, I'm using Ecamm Live, Robert. I shouted you out as well in the group. Okay, I don't want to get too distracted. But the other thing that I was mentioning is the whole glasses thing. So ring lights they can be decent and it's a good way to start out if you need something affordable. But ultimately, I think you're going to want to look at something that is like a bigger light that diffuses the light a little bit better. I use key lights now. So I have one on either side of me. And I feel like that it gives me the coverage that I want. It gives me the visual or the appearance that I want without overkill. Like it's not overly bright. Okay. The bigger the light, the better. The reason for that is it really, again, helps kind of diffuse the light instead of concentrating it all on one spot, like your glasses or just on your face. So, yes, they are. And look, if RK3 is agreeing with me, then it has to be right. He said they're the bee's knees. Yes. So I love key lights. That's something you can graduate to. Okay. If you're just starting out and you're thinking about investing in all the things, what I want to encourage you to do first is get your game right first. So, one, think about what is my game? Meaning, who am I talking to? What am I going to be talking about? What's my consistency going to be? How frequently will I be doing lives or podcasts? Um, am I going to be doing both podcast and videos? Because all of those things matter as it relates to the decisions you're going to make about your set and what you're buying, all your gear, right? And you don't want to invest in something really cheapy that ends up breaking or conking out on you, and now you got to turn around and go buy again, because that can end up being much more expensive than you buying it right the first time. So if you're inside of my group, if you're in my community and Stream Like a Boss, and you've got questions, we've got several people in there that are really sharp and solid with their advice, and they will help you. I will help you if you're trying to find or identify what you need in this moment. Now, let's dive into Camo, because I want to show you the Camo. It's so awesome, y'all. I'm so excited about this. Hold up. Yes, and I did see that too. So RK3 put a note in here for those of you who are looking at the new Key Light Mini, which is a good investment. Many of us start out with these really teeny tiny spaces. We don't have like a whole room that we can set up as our studio. So sometimes the minis and the smaller things are okay. You got to look at your space and look at where you're setting up and decide what makes the best sense for you, especially when it comes to the budget. Pay attention to that because it can go overboard real fast. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a small and tiny space. I'm getting ready to revamp and do some things to the rest of this room where I am, but the space where I'm recording is just a corner. It really is just a corner of a whole entire room upstairs in our family area that nobody uses. So I'm about to move all this junk out and revamp all of it. Like, I want to have a whole green screen wall. I've got a vision of what I want to do, but I'm building it over time. I didn't wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to do video. Let me go ahead and spend $10,000 to redo my whole room." No, I started small and then continued to invest in tools to help build up the studio the way I wanted it to. And I know that most of the folks that I know that are video people have done something similar. So think about that for your own set. Okay, let's do Camo because I want to show you what Camo looks like. This is so awesome. I'm so just thrilled that they even have this. So I'm going to switch over to my Camo. Okay, this is me on my iPhone. I am on my iPhone right now. This is an iPhone, what is it, a Pro Max 12? Is it 12 Pro Max, I think? And so it's a fairly newer one, right? But I know of other people who are using like an iPad, or not iPad, but an iPhone XR. Um, and it doesn't have to be an iPhone either, because apparently Reincubate, the company that actually runs this app, Reincubate has apps for both Windows and Mac, Google and iPhone or Apple. So you definitely want to take a look at this. And here's the reason why. Most of us have phones. You all have a phone. So if you're not ready to invest in that fancy mirrorless, DSLR camera, it's not time yet. Your budget's not saying yes. You got a smartphone you invested in. You probably put a pretty penny into the smartphone. Why not just have software that can convert your phone into a full out HD level cam? Because do y'all see how clear this is? Like it is super clear. There's a couple of things I could do to adjust it, and I just haven't yet. But when I whipped this thing out and I figured out what is possible, I was like, holy cow, I could have been using my phone as another camera angle all this time. That's crazy. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to pull up the camo, not slides. That's not what I want. Hold on. I'm going to share my screen real quick so that you can see it. Okay, so this is their website. It's reincubate.com/camo. They have several other products, but the one I'm looking for or trying to tell you about is the camo. So notice it says use your phone as a webcam to look amazing on video calls. Yes, I think you can look amazing. And there's lots of testimonials of people who are talking about how they've used it. So it gives you film quality video. It works on the apps that you use. So if you're trying to use your phone or a webcam for Zoom, Google Meet, Skype, etc., it gives you the capability of being able to tune your image. And like I said, I hadn't tuned mine. That's why it looked a little yellowy. I will fix that as I start to use it more. It gives you a preview. It's plug and play. It literally is plug and play. All I had to do was plug in my phone to my computer, my iMac, and make sure that the Camo app was on, Camo Studio was on. Make sure that the app is on my mobile device, and it just turns on just like that. And what it's using is it's not just using it's not just using, you know how when we do selfies, we have the front facing camera? What it's doing is it's using the rear facing camera, which is typically going to give you better quality. So I have a little arm that I've connected, something I bought on Amazon for, again, maybe 20, 25 bucks. It's an arm that's holding my phone so that you can actually see the phone. And I'm going to switch it back over there so you can actually see without me having to hold it, like it's hands free. Okay. So you'll need something to hold your phone if you're going to use this. And it may be just a regular tripod, it could be whatever you use right now to hold your phone up. It could be a cardboard box, like I started out with, right? But using what you have, how awesome would that be if you could just take your phone and convert it into a webcam that has clear quality and works just as well as just about any other cam? That's crazy. So I love that that's an option. And I wanted to make sure to share that with you. I'm wondering if anybody has questions about it. I'm looking in the chat to see. And what do you think? And it is reincubate.com/camo. So I'm going to try to pull it up real quick one more time. Let's see if we can show it. Reincubate camo. Okay. And even though you're seeing download for Mac, there is an option for Windows as well. This is what I was saying that I had gotten a license for and didn't even know it was available to me. Holy moly. I didn't even know. I was messing around with it and was like, wait, that looks almost as clear as my DSLR with a few tweaks. That's awesome. Let's look at pricing if anybody has questions about pricing, because I think that I'm looking on their site right now. Where's the features, downloads? So you can start out for free. So download on the Apple Store, download on Google Play, download for Windows Beta, and then they have the Mac OS, of course. I'm trying to see where they have pricing. I saw it earlier. Huh. Okay, we'll find that out for you. I won't take up too much of your time, but we'll find that out. It is very, um, it's been very much an idea generator for me because I was thinking, wow, so now I can actually change camera angles using this one in addition to some of the other cams I have around here. I don't have to worry about making it really super complicated. Literally just plug in my phone and I'm good. How about this other idea? Plug in your phone and do some reels using your high quality camera and impress people with those reels looking awesome that you're recording using your phone as a webcam. Because you can also make it vertical. It doesn't have to be horizontal like I had it positioned. You can make it vertical too. That is pretty awesome. Okay. If you think it's awesome, if you want to think, you're thinking about trying it based on what I'm sharing with you, put a fire emoji up in here. I want to see. Yup. Yeah, because I'm sure I can guarantee you that using an app like this is going to be much less expensive than going out and buying a $2,500 webcam. Much less expensive. And with the webcam, awesome. Thank you, Nicolette. And like I said, I don't have an affiliate link for it. I just want you all to know about it being in existence because I did not know until I attended this conference earlier in January with Luria Petrucci and Live Streaming Pros. I knew nothing about it. And when I heard about it, I was like, oh, that's awesome. So definitely an option. You'll have to let me know, Nicolette, if it tells you anything about pricing because I can't find pricing on here. But again, I'm sure it's much less expensive than paying for a webcam or a DSLR camera. And it gives you just about for what I could see, it gives you really solid quality. Let me see if I can pull them up side by side again. I'm going to try. Okay, there we go. So look at that side by side. It's just it's a little bit more green, but that's because I need to fix the quality. Ooh, awesome. Thank you. You found it. Nicolette says $79 lifetime license. Slick. That's not bad. Or $49 for a year. Hey, that's way less than buying a DSLR camera, y'all. And the quality is pretty darn decent. It's not bad. Look, side by side. So on the left is my Sony A6400 DSLR that I love. And then on your right, you have me with the iPhone 12 Pro Max using Camo. Yes, that is cheap, but can still give you high quality. I need one of those dings, where the teeth are glittering. And it's like, yeah, look at this. That's so crazy. All right, Sade. Yes, check it out, y'all, because it's available on Google and on Apple. And I agree. I think that the lifetime makes more sense, Dr. D. I do. If I didn't already have it, I'd be jumping out to go buy it right now myself. Okay, folks. So we've talked a little bit, just to recap, we've talked about three things that are essentials for your set. And it doesn't mean when I say your set, I don't mean you need to go and create a whole studio and all of that yet. You can graduate into that. But if you're just starting to stream, the three things are you need to have a decent camera, you need to have a decent microphone, and you need to have decent lighting. If you can have those three things, you're ready to go. You just need to get on and get that message out, okay? I started in a walk-in closet. I graduated to this bigger room, but it was not hot. It was not cute. It was just plain Jane because I hadn't done a whole heck of a lot to it. But it was what it was. I started because I knew I needed to fulfill the purpose. And so if you have a purpose that's nudging at you, if you know that there's something that's telling you you need to get out there and people need to hear your voice and to understand what you have to say because it's going to impact their lives, it's going to transform their businesses and all the things, do what you need to do. You can start where you are. And literally for $79 lifetime license, yeah, Nicolette, I would be all over that if that would help you to upgrade your camera game. You scoop that app up, Reincubate Camo, Camo, put that on your device, put it on your laptop or your desktop, and you're ready to go. Start with where you are and what you have. Okay, folks, I took a lot longer than I anticipated, but I am so excited I got a chance to come and spend time with you. And next week, we're going to be on lesson 3 of Simply Start Streaming. And I just appreciate you being here with me. I hope that you got a little something out of what we talked about tonight. If you have questions, pop them in the chat because I do come back and look to see so that I can make sure I respond. I appreciate you being here. Yes, ma'am. Thinking about a new, I know, because Nicolette, look, you just need to have yourself or one of your team members make those adjustments and settings, and you'll be good to go. Golden. And it doesn't take up as much CPU. So it's not like stress on your computer or even stress on your phone to use it. This app is genius. Congrats to the people over at Reincubate. I just love it. Now that I know about it, I'm like, oh, I need to tell people. I need to let people know. You're so welcome, Dr. Deneen. Thank you, Sade, for being here. Thank you, everybody. I always appreciate you being here. And I will look forward to seeing you on next week for our next live stream show. If you're not already following, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe. You can go to streamlikeaboss.tv, streamlikeaboss.tv. I don't have banners yet. I'm still working on those for Ecamm Live because I haven't gotten as nifty as people like RK3. He has all the banners and the cartoons and stuff flying. I'm still working on that. What kind of Mac did I get? I got an iMac 24-inch. I bought it and then I just heard all this stuff about this Mac Studio, which I don't need that. It's nice. I was this close, like, ooh, that sounds so shiny, but I don't need it. The iMac 24-inch is what I ended up with, and I love it. Now, what I hear a lot of people are doing in some of the groups that I'm a part of right now is they are actually going to the iMac Mini. They're using the Mini and they're buying a display, and then that Mini has a lot of different ports to it, so you can connect all kinds of peripheral devices and stuff to it. So that's a thought. I probably would have thought about that had I known that that was a better option. But I love the iMac. I love it because my eyes are maturing and the screen is huge. So that helps. All right, y'all. I hope you have an amazing rest of the evening and the rest of the week. And I look forward to staying in touch and connecting. So I will see you in the stream. Take care.